It's tea time. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We're going to read the book of Genesis, chapter 6, the entire chapter, and we're going to visit Isaiah 65, verses 1 through 5. But I really want just verse 5, but to keep it in context, we're going to read verses 1 through 4 as well. And we're going to visit the book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 10. Okay. And if you don't know where Isaiah is, just look in your table of contents. It'll help you. I remember being in church and I wanted to act like I knew where the books were. So whenever the pastor would say the book and I had no clue, I just glanced over at the person next to me and hope that they know where it is. When they moved to the left, I went to the left. When they moved to the right, I went to the right. And after a while, I'm like, okay, this person does not know where it is. So at that point on, I just flip to the beginning, look for the table of contents, and bam. Pages are numbered. Use the table of contents if you have to. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read the New Living Translation in the book of Isaiah. Okay, verse 1. The Lord says, people who never before inquired about me are now asking about me. I am being found by people who were not looking for me. To them I have said, I am here. I open my arms to my own people all day long, but they have rebelled. That's how some kids act with their parents. Parents like, yo, I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm here for you. Kids rebel against them. They follow their own evil paths and thoughts. All day long they insult me to my face by worshiping idols in their sacred gardens. They burn incense on the rooftops of their homes. At, at night, they go out among the graves and secret places to worship evil spirits. They also eat pork and other forbidden foods. Verse 5. Yet they say to each other, don't come too close or you will defile me. I am holier than you. They are a stench in my nostrils, an acrid smell that never goes away. Okay, I'm going to read you the definition of acrid. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but I think it's acrid. Okay, anyway, it says it having an irritatingly strong and unpleasant taste or smell. That makes me think of the department stores. When you go into the mall, you go in the department store and they have all those perfumes and colognes and all those strong smells. And it's like it irritates your nose. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got to either hold your breath so you can try to get up out of there. Anyway, the Lord says that they are a stench in my nostrils, an acrid smell that never goes away. Now, see, with us, we can walk away. With God, because of the sin, he's not walking away. He can't walk away. Okay, you know what? Back here. All right. Now we're going to visit chapter 4, verse 10. Do, 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 do. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. All right, now into our reading. Okay, so chapter 6, verse 1. I'm going to read the King James Version, and if it's a little confusing, then I will read the New Living Translation. Okay, verse 1, King James. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Now, I don't know, but I feel like these are the fallen angels. Now, sons of God, little s's, sons. The sons of God, they are referred to as angels. And I just can't help but wonder if the sons of God that they're speaking of here are the fallen angels, because they took these, the human women and made them their wife. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. Just a thought. Um, okay, verse 3. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. Mm. So you remember back in the previous chapter when we read that people lived for hundreds of years, for hundreds of years. And so that's like hundreds of years of sin and wickedness that these people are committing. So God shortened the human lifespan. Um, Maybe people will start, with a shorter lifespan, they will use their time wisely. And we already know for ourselves today that people have their bucket list, all these things that they want to accomplish before they pass away, you know. Let's see, verse 3. Oh, we already read verse 3. We're on verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. Now, if they were fallen angels, okay, if those were fallen angels, it shows you that regardless of who your parents are, you can still be better than the bad choices that they have made. I tell my kids all the time, be better than me. Not better than me as, you acting snobby towards me, you think it'd be better, and you're looking down on me, but be better than me. That's, like financially, mentally, physically, just be better than me. And then, completing college. Um, I never liked college. I never liked school. Ugh. But anyway, complete college, you know, um, do the career that you want to do, that God has put into your heart to do. I want them to be better than me, You always want to teach your kids to be better than the last generation. And I want that for my children and for your children. Anyway, so if they were fallen angels, it shows that regardless of who your parents are, you can still be better than the bad choices they have made. Verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. I'm going to read the New Living Translation version. Now the Lord observed the extent of the people's wickedness, and he saw that all their thoughts were consistently and totally evil. That is so different from what God did during creation. God thought it, he spoke it, and he created. He did it. He thought about it, he spoke it, and then he did it. And that's total opposite. And God, and everything that he created, he said that it was good. He said it was blessed. Mm. And that's totally opposite of what these people are doing here. Because what they think or what they thought about, they did it, and it wasn't for creation. This was for evil, for their own wickedness. It's sin. Mm. Let's see, verse 6. Uh-oh. Oh, nope. I got to finish reading my notes. Opposite of God's time of creation, God thought it, spoke it, then did it, and all was good and blessed. That God knows my heart is the people today's excuse to continue in sin. And then, like here, we know that God knows what's in everybody's heart. And then people, I hear this. I used to hear this all the time. God knows what's in my heart. Yeah, the wickedness, your sin, yes, He knows. But the fact that you know He knows, it does not excuse you to keep doing what you're doing when you know it's wrong. You stop. You have to stop. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse that, to say that God knows my heart. Yeah, He knows your heart and He wants you to change it. Okay, verse 6. And it, King James, and it repented the Lord that He had made man on the earth, and it grieved Him at His heart. Well, there's no explanation of that. He regretted making man, and their sin broke His heart. And I know there are parents today that feel that way. You know, some parents, they have their idea of what their children should be or how they should be, and then they turn out to be the total opposite of what they desired and hoped for, and then they regret having it. And that's maybe not even, maybe it's not even their behavior. Well, you know what? We're just going to stick to behavior because this is what he's talking about. What's in their heart, the sin and stuff. Okay, I'm about to go somewhere else. All right, verse 7. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. It's heartbreaking. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Amen. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with God. And Noah begat three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Japheth. Mm. I'm going to read verse 8 in the New Living Translation. But Noah found favor with the Lord. This is the history of Noah and his family. Noah was a righteous man, the only blameless man living on earth at the time. He consistently followed God's will and enjoyed a close relationship with him. Noah had three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Mm. Even though, these are my notes, even though wicked people surrounds you, or you see like wicked people everywhere, seem to be everywhere, you can still find grace in God's eyes by keeping your relationship with Him good. This is just like when when there's a tragedy, whether it be from man or maybe from nature. Actually, you know what? I'm going to even say nature. I'm just going to say from man. When there's some type of tragedy and you have this group of people blaming you know, this person or just blaming different groups. I don't know. I hope you get what I'm saying. um, but and they're just angry and start heart feeling with hate, just a whole bunch of negative stuff. But then they're not watching how other people, they're not acting on emotion. They see a problem, they see a need, and they go in and they take care of it. I think it was Mr. Rogers that I heard. Um, I can't even remember. Let's see if I can get it right. It's when you see some type of disaster that happen, and y'all upset and you stressing and everything, but then you have to, and then I think he said like you have to focus. I think it was Mr. Rogers. I'm not sure. Then you have to focus on what the other people are doing. Focus on the people that are handing out water, handing out food, or um, the emergency personnel are going in and, saving people, rescuing them, whatever the case may be. Why was I talking about all that? I don't know. I think I got lost. Let me see. I was reading verse 8 and 9. Da, da, da. He consistently followed. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and you can still find grace in God's eyes by keeping your relationship with Him good. Just keep a relationship with God, and just maintain your relationship with Him. And even though all this, you know, evil, this violence, and all this stuff is all around us, you know, maintain a relationship with Him, and then He will, you know, uh, He can keep you in peace. You know what? I'm just gonna move along. Verse 10, um, King James. Nope, we already read that one. Verse 11. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. This reminds me of when Cain killed Abel. I don't know what I wrote. Um, this reminds me when Cain killed Abel. It says the earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. Mm. And it says, verse 12, and God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. As I was saying, it reminds me of Cain and Abel. It's like when the blood called out to God from the ground, when Abel's blood called out from the ground to God. And so it's like now with all this here, remember my notes. But let me just say this. All the violence that was going on, surely there was blood that was shed. It's making me think about some other stuff too. All the blood was shed and everything, and the ground just calling out. I mean, just the blood of the people just crying out to God. Mm. Anyway, I wrote uh, everything on earth was corrupted from everyone's corruption. So it's like people's sins, their corruption is what caused everything to be corrupted. It infected people's sins, infected the earth. It infected the atmosphere. It infected the hearts of man. And everything that has life, the entire earth and everything in it was corrupted, except for Noah. Because even though he had all that stuff going around him, and his kids could have been part of it too. His kids could be a part of it, be a part of that collection too, because it only speaks of Noah having this relationship with God. Let's see, everything was corrupted from everyone's corruption. It infected the earth, the atmosphere, the hearts of man, and each other's heart, and everything that has life. Mm-hmm. The plants, the ground, of course, everything has life. Okay, anyway, verse 13, and God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. And that goes back to Isaiah 65, verse 5, where he says that when he's talking about the stench of violence, this has reached God's nostrils. The earth, the entire earth is so infected by the sin and violence that it has uh, reached the heavens. So it has to have a smell. Nah. Okay, I'll just say this. I was asked. Oh no, I'm not gonna say that. Mhm. Okay. Who asked me? Okay. Anyway, everything has a smell, and so we don't know the smell of sin, because hey, God, human, but the smell reached the atmosphere and to God's um, well, reach the atmosphere, past the atmosphere, and to reach the heaven, got to the heavens. Ooh, God's nostrils. Um, Let me see, verse 13 again. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Um, New Living Translation. So God said to Noah, I have decided to destroy all living creatures, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. Yes, I will wipe them all from the face of the earth. God wasn't playing. Verse 14. I'm going to read it from the New Living Translation. Make a boat from resinous wood and seal it with tar inside and out. Then construct decks and stalls throughout its interior. Make it 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Construct an opening all the way around the boat, 18 inches below the roof. Then put 3 decks inside the boat, bottom, middle, and upper, and put a door in the inside. Put a door in the side. Look. Oh, I just went. Noah shows us to obey God even when we don't fully understand God's plan. God said, this is what I want you to do. Told him. Noah did it. It's like he obeyed God without, maybe he didn't understand fully. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe he did. But the thing is, God gave him the instruction. Verse 17. And behold, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. Mm. I'm going to read 17, New Living Translation. Look, I am about to cover the earth with a flood that will destroy every living thing. Everything on earth will die. Huh. In my notes, I wrote down Genesis 2:6. So let me see what this is about. Why did I put that in there? Genesis 2:6. Where's 6? Oh. Oh. That's why I put it in there. Okay. Got it. Verse 17. Okay. So when God was saying he was gonna flood the earth, in Genesis 2:6, it says, but there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. So it's like, it didn't speak of rain. It said there was a mist that came up from the ground that watered the earth, watered the ground, I should say. And that was, okay, I put that note in here because I don't know if God was going to flood the earth by bringing a rain, or if he was going to flood the earth by using the mist. Yeah. It would be very interesting to actually know. What if he had did both sides? Like, what if he had the mist and the rain coming down to really do it? Huh. Okay. Yeah. So let me just read this. Don't know if Genesis 2:6. Don't know if the mist was still watering the earth or if God had started using rain yet. God wants to flood the earth, and I wrote down baptism to be renewed. It's like when you have, according to the Bible, according to Jesus, we must be baptized. And right here, with all this violence, hold on a second. with the violence and bloodshed, God used water to wash away all that sin. And so, and Jesus, um, the water baptism, the fact that we had to do it was showing us how when we go under, we're being buried, bearing all that sin, rise up, and we're a new creature. So God washing away this earth, even the earth had to get baptized. We have to get baptized. If the earth got baptized, we have to get baptized. If Jesus got baptized, then we got to get baptized. Okay, anyway, so in my notes, don't know if a mist was still watering the earth or if God had started using rain yet, and baptism to be renewed. All right, verse 18. Verse 18, but with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. From my notes, unconditional and conditional promises of God. Okay, so right here, this was an unconditional promise to Noah about what he was going to do for him and his family, for his household. You have conditional promises. You have conditional promises and unconditional promises. The unconditional are the ones that's like it is set in stone. It is not going to change at all. And you got the conditional promises where God will say, I will do this, but you have to do that first. Anyway, because Noah walked with God, his family gets the blessings and the what I do? Okay. What was I saying? Because Noah walked with God, his family gets the blessings, promises of God. Some of us are covered by the prayers of others. Still no reason to act a fool. You establish a relationship with God for yourself. So because, his family, they were blessed and received promises of God just by association. Blessings by association. And a lot of us are covered by God where we would probably look back and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I survived that, survived this. It could be from prayers from other people, prayers from grandma, grandpas, aunts, uncles, parents, doesn't, whoever, friends, strangers, being covered. But anyway, his household was blessed by association. But just because their prayers are covering you, it doesn't mean that you can't have a relationship with God for yourself. You need your own. Verse 19, and of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. For procreation, verse 20, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him. So did he. Amen. I'm going to read the New Living Translation. Bring a pair of every kind of animal, a male and a female, into the boat with you to keep them alive during the flood. Pairs of each kind of bird, and each kind of animal, large and small alike, will come to you to be kept alive. And remember, take enough food for your family and for all the animals. So Noah did everything exactly as God had commanded him. In my notes, God takes care of the shut in by using others to do the work. That's what as I was reading, that's what I got. The fact that they were all going to be shut in, and he told Noah to make sure that he has enough food to take care of all the animals, including his family. And there were people, and I used shut in, and because they're going to be shut in, I just thought about the people that are shut in because of illness or whatever the case may be. Anyway, um, God takes care of the shut in by using others to do the work. We are an extension of God. Do the work. Don't complain about it. Noah didn't rationalize it. He simply obeyed. And one of the things that I like, one of my favorite quotes is from Pastor Dr. Charles Stanley. He said, and I don't remember if it was his grandfather or if it was his own father, but Dr. Stanley said, obey God and leave the consequences to Him. Can't go wrong with that. Obey Him, and God got the rest. Take care of other folks. We are an extension of God, and He will lay on your heart what He would have you to do, especially when it comes to helping others. It's like you may have that heart to help people that are overseas. You may have that heart to help people that are here in your own country. It doesn't matter. Okay, child is home. It is. Okay, I don't remember the last thing I said, but I was at the end. Just during this video, it was like so distracting. With my son coming in and out, in and out. Anyway, um, I hope that you take that you continue reading the Word, and that whatever you heard or read along is helpful in your personal life. Um, yeah, that's it. Be blessed and enjoy the rest of your day or evening or morning, whatever. And enjoy your cup of tea. Enjoy your cup of tea.